This would be the fastest deal in my life. And I'll make some great money too. Yeah. Little did he know who Rabbi Eliezer Dushinzer was. He was a very honest man, maybe even too honest. Listen what happened. They started going in the taxi to drive all the way to Petach Tikva. And they went in a bus actually to Tel Aviv. And from there they went to the neighborhood over there, Petach Tikva. And as they were going, the three of them were sitting on a bus. And in other words, the buyer from America, Rabbi Eliezer Dushinzer, and the broker who's trying to make the deal. They're sitting together, and all of a sudden, Rabbi Eliezer Dushinzer did something very strange. He starts telling the buyer from America, you don't really want this. This is not really such a good orchard. I don't want to rip you off, really. I want to tell you all the problems with this orchard. And he's sitting there on the bus telling the buyer that over here there's a rotten tree, it's dead. And over there there's a lot of brick stones blocking the field that water doesn't go there to come to water it. And the broker is thinking, why are you telling him all the faults? When you want to sell something, do you want to tell the guy all the faults? Or you want to tell the guy all the good things? You want him to buy it. But Rabbi Eliezer Dushinzer was such a tzaddik that he was worried that maybe I'm being over on Geneva. If I'm going to sell him a field that's not really good, he's going to pay too much for it. And there's an aveim in the Torah called Leisainu. Now really Leisainu doesn't apply by Karka, but he was worried that maybe I'm going to rip this guy off. So he starts telling him all the problems. Now the broker is thinking to himself, be quiet. Don't tell him anything. Let him see the field and let him buy it. Imagine you want to sell someone a car and you need the money and the guy comes and you start telling him all the problems with the car. Maybe be quiet and just let the guy buy it. But this wasn't Rabbi Eliezer. He was very honest with Rabbi Eliezer Dushinzer. And he started telling him all the defects of the field. Finally, they get to the field, and Rabbi Eliezer turns to the guy and he says, oh, by the way, now we're here. Let me show you exactly all the things that we spoke about in the bus. And he starts pointing again. See, here's the stones that are very bad. These stones, things can't grow here. And look at that tree. That's a rotten tree. And over here, look at this. This is a big problem over here. And the broker thinks to himself, this is crazy. So why isn't he just quiet and let the person buy it already? But Rabbi Eliezer was worried that maybe he's stealing if he's not. Maybe it's a mekatos. He's not being honest. So it turns out the guy from America takes out of his pocket some pills and he starts putting in his mouth pills. So Rabbi Eliezer says to him, what are the pills for? He says, oh, the doctor said I should take it for my heart because I was feeling some heart pain. So right then Rabbi Eliezer says, oi, you have heart pain? Oy vey, then I'm not selling you this because this orchard is just going to give you more pain in your heart. Forget it, I'm not selling it to you. So meanwhile, the broker thinks to himself, shh, quiet, I'm about to sell it. But the Rabbi Eliezer says, no, if he has heart pain, I don't want him to have this. That's not a sale, let's go. And he turns away the buyer. The broker could not believe it. And it turns out, he says, a refuah shalema, I want to give you a bracha. You came from America, I want to give you a bracha. Shev a refuah shalema, with your heart that was weak. And the buyer ended up thanking him, and he didn't buy it. It turns out, Rabbi Eliezer was still stuck with the orchard. And Rav Schwadron said, it could be the whole reason why Hashem wanted the buyer to go all the way from America to Tel Aviv to Petach Tikva to see the field was just so he should get a bracha from Rabbi Eliezer Dushinzer. He should have a refuah shalema. Sometimes Hashem can cause the person to go out of the way because there's a reason why you should meet this tzaddik and you should get a bracha from him. It turns out, what happened to the orchard? So he went over to someone in the Yerushalayim cheder, And he says, can you do me a favor? Say Tehillim for 5 minutes with your students once a week for 5 minutes, maybe twice a week, that I should be successful at selling my orchard. And he says it shouldn't be Bittul Torah that they're supposed to be learning instead of saying Tehillim. He says, because you're teaching them to pray for others, that's also part of Torah. And it turns out that the guy forgot. He forgot to say Tehillim with the kids that he should sell the orchard. But then later on, he remembered, and Rabbi Elio told him, please don't forget. And like shortly after, he sold the orchard, and he was able to make money, and he was able to pay back his debts. So Rabbi Schwadron asked him, what happened? You were able to go to the bank and sell it? And he says, it's very simple. Really, I knew that if the children would say Tehillim for me, their tefillah would even be more powerful than my own tefillah. I could pray to Hashem, Baruch Aleinu, please give me parnasa. But maybe Hashem might not answer my tefillah. But when pure children daven, then surely Hashem would answer them. And that's what happened. So, this is a beautiful story that afterwards he ended up selling it. So, in order that we should take this story to heart, a friend of mine just gave me $100. And he says, I want you to say Tehillim with your children, your Talmidim, that I should be zeicha to have a son. I don't know how long ago he got married, but he told me his name is Yosef Chaim Ben Clear. And he told me, please say Tehillim. So I'm going to right now give this $1 to a boy who's going to say a parak Shir Lamalais with me, nicest. And we're going to have in mind Yosef Chaim Ben Clear, should be zeicha Ben Zachar. It's a big bracha.
The boy that was sitting nicest.
Okay, and we'll also give out a flashlight. Okay, so let's go. Shir Lamalais Esai Nayel Arim Yayin Yavo Yazri Ezri Meim Adonai. I say Shemayim Varetz Al Yitei Lamajag Lecha Al Yanum Shamerecha Hinei Lo Yanum Velo Yishan Shamer Yisrael Adonai Shemecha Adonai Tzilcha Ayad Yeminecha Yoimam Hashem Eshlo Yakeka V'yareach V'layla Adonai Yishmarcha Mikora Yishmor Es Nafshecha Adonai Yishmor Tzezcha V'echa Me'ata V'yad. Everyone was davening best, but Uzi was the only one looking inside our Tehillim. Which one would you like?
$1.
Okay, enjoy. Yasher Koach. I appreciate that. I'd like to share with you a few great stories about the power of tzedakah and the people who give it or collect it. There was a story about a great rabbi named the Shagat Aryeh. And there was a lady that was very helpful at supporting people and giving them food in the city of Minsk. She was a wealthy woman and she used to care for them a lot. And her name was Chuhala. And the Shagat Aryeh gave her a bracha that in the zechut that she supports Aniyim so much, she should be zochet to have wealth and build a shul in Eretz Yisrael and in Chutz La'aretz. And she was zochet to live long and use her wealth to build a shul in Israel and a shul in Europe. Now, the story I want to tell you first comes from Rabbi Gibbs, who's a Rebbe in Atar Torah in the 5th grade. He said this amazing true story that I hope I never forget because it has a lot of lessons.
Write it down.
Rabbi Aaron Kotler and the Kapishnitzer Rebbe were two of the Gedolei Yisrael after the Holocaust who literally had to rebuild the Jewish nation on foreign soil in America. Rabbi Aaron went with the Kapishnitzer Rebbe one time, I think, to Manhattan to raise money for the building of the Lakewood Yeshiva, Beis Medrash Gavoa, BMG. Now, sometimes you would have an appointment to see the Gevir, the wealthy man, and sometimes not. Here they went into a rich man's office without an appointment. Now, the rich man was a balgaiva, an arrogant person, and he was upset and angry that who gave them permission to come talk to me when I'm at work? I don't like being disturbed when I'm at work. Now, really, he should have felt the great honor that one of the Gedolei Yisrael, Talmid Chacham Muflag, is coming to speak to him, and he should be honored to write a check and give a donation and give some money to the yeshiva. But I guess he didn't realize the greatness of Torah or the greatness of Reb Aaron Cutler. So at that time, Reb Aaron told the secretary, we don't have an appointment, so can we wait here? So the man was upset. He felt that there's no reason, the rich man felt there's no reason they should wait here. I have no time to see them today. But Reb Aaron was patient, and he waited 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and the secretary was upset also. Like, who told them to stay? They have no appointment. After 25 minutes, the rich man came out, and he started screaming and embarrassing the rabbis. How dare you come here without an appointment? Everyone who wants to see me has an appointment. And you know what? It was a very insulting moment for these great rabbis. They were quiet. And when they were done, when he was done screaming at them, how you come to my office without an appointment to speak to me? People will have make appointments months in advance. So when he was done speaking, the Kapishnitzah Rebbe, who had so much patience, said to him, now you gave us what we deserved. Can you please now give us what Chinuch Atzmai deserves? Reb Aaron Cutler was not only collecting for the Lakewood Yeshiva, at that time he was collecting for yeshivas in Israel. It wasn't even his own yeshiva. But the Kapishnitzah Rebbe told the angry man, the rich man, that now, I'm not sure why you go out behind without permission, but I appreciate if everyone has their hearts and sits nicely and maturely. And he said to him very clearly, he said to him, till now you embarrassed us. So you gave us what we deserved. Obviously from Shemayim, we deserve to be embarrassed. So you insulted us. But now can you give something for the yeshiva that the yeshiva deserves? The rich man was so humbled by that response that he took out a check and he wrote a check for $10,000, which at that time was probably like writing a check for $1 million today.
Whoa.
Because the Kapishnitzah Rebbe didn't get angry and say, how dare you talk to Reb Aaron like that? He said, okay, I have bitachon, you gave us what we deserve. Min Hashemayim, Hashem runs the world. Hashem wanted that you should insult. Hashem allowed for you to insult us. Must be we deserved to be embarrassed. So you gave us what we deserve. Now give something for the cause. Now give something for the Chinuch Atzmai. Okay, that was one story I heard from Rabbi Gibbs, an amazing story.
Rabbi Gibbs?
I'd like to tell you another story now.
Oh, another story. Another great story from Rabbi Maimon. Oh, Rabbi Maimon.
Maybe you want to say the story?
Yes. Yeah, I want to say the story. Can I say the story about Black Rabbi Side. Rabbi Maimon. There was once a guy wants to speak. I read his story last night. He really liked it. Rabbi Side.
All right, please find your seat so I can continue. I want to give these sodas to the boys sitting straightest during the story.
Hello, what do you think of video?
And I want to give a treat.
We got Mimi sour sticks. What about this story? What about this story? You didn't let me read the movie.
So here's the second story. Reb Aaron Cutler, great Rosh Hashiva of Lakewood, was nifter, I think about 1962, if I'm not mistaken. One of the great rabbis that spoke at the funeral. Rabbi side. Okay. Thank you. Another time we can let you be in the actual.
I'm not in a video. Could you video us one day?
So.
While we're looking at the Torah.
There was one time. So when Rabbi Aaron Cutler passed away, Rabbi Teitz, who was a Rav in Elizabeth, New Jersey, was one of the Maspidim, one of the eulogizers who spoke in memory of the great Gon Hadar, the great giant of the generation, who helped rebuild and replant Torah on this soil. So he said the following thought at the funeral. He said, Hashem showed Adam Harishon all of the future rabbis of every generation. Hashem showed Adam Harishon, the first man, Ruach HaKodesh, where he saw every single